Nothing screams family-friendly entertainment like gathering around the TV to watch one pro wrestler try to murder another, eh? So let's open these police files. I'm Gareth here from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 times wrestlers attempted murder in WWE. Number 10, everyone in buried alive matches. When? Countless WWE pay-per-views. What happened? Well, what didn't happen? Before cracking on with individual cases, let's incriminate anybody who ever picked up a shovel during one of those buried alive bouts. Of course, the wrestlers involved in these wacky gimmick matches were literally trying to murder the other person too, but they often had help. Everyone from Bradshaw and Goldust to Crush and even Triple H started tossing dirt around during one of these things back at In Your House 11, and they'd all be found guilty of trying to do the same thing workers such as Mankind, The Undertaker, Steve Austin and Vince McMahon were over the years. Buried alive matches have pretty much vanished in the modern era, but they were a staple of The Undertaker's gimmick back in the day. The same thing could be said for Kane. He loved shoveling some dirt on top of fools, then recoiling in horror as they unthinkably survived. More on some of these names later, but which is your favourite buried alive brawl? Let me know in the comment section below. Number 9, Rikishi, when Survivor Series 1999. What happened? Well, Rikishi did it for The Rock. The WWF's bid to turn Steve Austin getting mowed down by a car at Survivor Series 99 into an unwanted commentary on racism didn't last long, and neither did this ex-too-cool man's big heel push as a would-be hit-and-run artist. Triple H eventually revealed that he was the one behind that attack on Stone Cold. Rikishi was just the one stupid enough to do it, and he had some questionable plan to help his cousin, who was already a megastar, become the biggest name in the business by killing another. Yeah, wrestling. It's pretty obvious the WWF writers didn't have much of a clue what the end result of this angle would be when they booked it. Everyone just knew they had to get Austin off screen for surgery, and nailing him in a parking lot with a car was as good a plan as any. Number 8, ERICK Rowan, when SmackDown July 30th, 2019. What happened? Well, highly unpopular babyface Roman Reigns was strolling around backstage minding his own business when BAM! Some steel scaffolding tumbled on top of him and nearly ended his life. This whodunit drama gripped SmackDown for weeks in the summer of 2019, and it even ended an on-screen alliance. Daniel Bryan was shocked and stunned to learn that his big buddy ERICK Rowan was behind the attack. Rowan denied it for a while, but then confessed he had been behind the rigging incident and attempted hit and run on Roman as well. Bryan was appalled and called off his tag team with Rowan immediately. WWE made a big deal of this at the time. Announcers claimed that Reigns could have died at the hands of ERICK, but the angle didn't exactly lead to bigger and better things for Rowan. He was carrying around a giant spider by early 2020, which was quite the downgrade. Drew McIntyre eventually squished it, by the way. Number 7, Roman Reigns, when Great Balls of Fire 2017. What happened? Well, Mr. Reigns himself is no angel. In the latest chapter of WWE storylines you've probably forgotten, Roman attempted to murder one Braun Strowman at the one-off Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view in July 2017. He even flashed off a murderous look during the aftermath of their ambulance match brawl to hammer home the point. Reigns locked Braun in the back of the vehicle and reversed it into the side of a semi-truck for good measure. Then GM Kurt Angle chewed Roman out for being so dangerous. But Strowman walked away from the incident like some horrifying real-life version of Nemesis from the Resident Evil series. Braun was super over back then. Oh, it was a different time. Angle even suggested on air that Reigns could have ended Braun's life, or at the very least he might have stopped Strowman from ever wrestling again. Roman didn't care though. He'd been pushed to the brink by Braun's wrecking ball antics and he wanted revenge. Number 6, Triple H, when No Way Out 2000. What happened? Mick Foley is one of the toughest men to ever lace up a pair of wrestling boots, and bumps like the one he took back in February 2000 prove it. Unlike King of the Ring 1998's infamous chokeslam through the roof of Hell in a Cell, this fall through the cage into the ring below was actually planned. That didn't stop iconic announcer Jim Ross from barking that Triple H was a sick son of a bitch who had tried to put Foley down once and for all. The fall remains one of WWE's most insane bumps. Rigged ring collapse or not, it looked awesome and made Hunter look like a sadistic heel who'd do anything to get ahead, including attempted murder. Fans didn't know in February 2000 that Trips was behind the aforementioned Austin attack. They'd find that out later in the year, and then Stone Cold jotted his own name down on the list of folks police might like a word with. Number 5, Steve Austin, when Survivor Series 2000. What happened? No, Triple H wasn't actually inside the car you see in that image. If that sounds like Captain Obvious speaking, then consider how wild wrestling was during the Attitude Era. Pretty much nothing was off limits, but literally dropping Hunter from a crane would have been too far. It was implied though. Steve Austin was out for blood after returning from his hit and run incident in October 2000. He plowed through Rikishi before going after the real evil mastermind Triple H. At Survivor Series, Austin trapped the game in a vehicle, then lifted it up and dropped it upside down on the pavement. The commentary team yelled over and over again that Stone Cold had been tipped over the edge by Tripp's own evil. Then, mere weeks later, Hunter was back on TV with just a few scratches. He must have been made of sterner stuff than even Braun Strowman. Number 4, The Undertaker. When King of the Ring 1998. What happened? The Undertaker tried to maim old rival Mankind twice at King of the Ring 98. You just knew this one was gonna be here, didn't you? Firstly, he grabbed Mick Foley by the head and ass, then chucked him headfirst off Hell in a Cell through the Spanish announce table below. And as legend has it, the Spanish commentary team didn't know that was gonna happen. Yikes. Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler had no clue either bump was gonna happen though, and that only made their calls more iconic. JR's broken in half moment stood the test of time, but Lawler's "that's it, he's dead" line is also still chilling to look back on now. That came after Mick was chokeslammed through the cell roof into the ring below. It's incredible to think that Foley doesn't remember anything after the second fall, and that Taker was working this stunt show with a broken foot. Standing atop the cage looking down, the dead man wondered if his peer was even alive. And speaking of that phenom, number 3, The Undertaker again. When WrestleMania 15. What happened? Nobody remembers The Undertaker's next big Hell in a Cell moment as fondly as King of the Ring 1998. At WrestleMania 15, Taker battled the big boss man inside the cage, then decided to literally wrap a noose around his foe's neck and raise the cell so he'd be left hanging there. Oh boy, this was a shocking visual for wrestling fans to witness. The Undertaker was cast as somebody who tried to take his opponent over to the dark side. Kill them, then consume their souls, basically. But here he was literally hanging another dude in ring on the biggest show of the entire year. It's pretty awkward to look back on in 2023, not least because the drama was a bit too forced. Bossman's weight was fully supported, of course, but seeing him drape with his feet dangling before he went motionless seemed like a step too far even for some fans who had reveled in prior Hell in a Cell chaos. What a strange creative decision, eh? Number 2, Kane. When the Royal Rumble 1998. What happened? The casket's on fire! That's one of JR's most underrated calls, but it brilliantly put lyrics to the musical drama concocted by The Undertaker, Kane, and Paul Bearer as Royal Rumble 1998 went off the air. Kane set the coffin his kayfabe brother was in alight, then stuck 2 fingers up as the flames burned. What a powerful image. Supernatural silliness became a hallmark of the feud between both storyline siblings over the years. It wasn't uncommon to see one shoot lightning bolts from his fingertips, or the other shoots fire out of ring posts. That fiery blaze at the Rumble sticks out as one of their most memorable moments though. It was a clear murder attempt from one brother to the other on live pay-per-view, and was way more visually stunning than anything else casket-related Taker had done over the years. Still, it cast Kane as the villain of the piece immediately, despite his bro's own penchant for bloodshed. Number 1, Baron Corbin. When Money in the Bank 2020. What happened? Well, WWE's mid-pandemic era shows were something else, weren't they? Money in the Bank blended both the male and female ladder bout into one big cinematic soup in the summer of 2020, and almost everything was played for laughs. Then, in the middle of all this comedy BS, Baron Corbin tried to murder Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black. He sent Black and Mysterio flying off the roof of WWE HQ. There was a ring up there and the Money in the Bank cases were hanging above it, remember? Before going after the win. Later it was revealed that Aleister and Rey had landed several feet below on a platform, but the clear insinuation originally was that they'd fallen several stories to the ground and snuffed it. Both thankfully averted disaster. WWE didn't really follow up on this with anything on TV afterwards. Corbin the Killer didn't become Baron's gimmick, and the whole episode was largely forgotten about within a few weeks. It happened though, my friends. It happened. And that's our list. Know of any other times wrestlers attempted murder in WWE? Well, let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and don't forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're down there. Also, if you like this sort of thing, then please head on over to whatculture.com and find some more fantastic articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Cheers for watching this video today, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye bye!